I'm Kristen. And I'm Maddie. We're sisters and heavy readers. Join us every single week to talk stories, interview authors, and collab with fellow book nerds. Welcome to the Kris and Mads Show. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Today we are thrilled, honored, elated that our girlfriends from I'll Read What She's Reading are joining us on the pod. The pods unite, if you will. So we're so excited to have Kennedy, Michaela, and Reggie join us today. And we're going to talk books, all the things. But first, in case for some crazy reason you're living under a rock and you have no idea who I'll Read What She's Reading is, they're three friends from Utah, and they have a combined following on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram of over 200K. So you guys probably know who they are. And also they have this amazing podcast, I'll Read What She's Reading, which we love to tune into every week, where they talk all the things. They do the funniest trends. They are the funnest book besties to have on the internet. They are light. They are joyful. And if you ever want to have a good time and just nerd out on books, they're your girls. So we're thrilled that they're hanging out with us today. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Wow, I about shed a tear there. That was very sweet.
Crying.
We also love that you guys are connected via earbuds, like triplets in the womb. Kristen said, like your beautiful umbilical cord. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
We tried this whole setup and it was a fail.
we're like little grandmas trying to figure out technology.
Yeah.
Yes, we relate.
Our
Some hot
apologies.
grandmas.
Yeah, they are some hot grandmas.
Grandmas.
We
And you know
relate
what?
so
Kristen
hard.
and Maddie, you guys were so patient with us. So
Yeah.
thanks so much.
Oh, you guys are worth it. It was so fun. I'm so glad we're finally doing this. I feel like this interview is like 500 years in the making because the universe was conspiring in so many ways to ruin this interview, but we prevail.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with just some like icebreakers because I like to make people feel uncomfortable, you know, just to start things off. Get uncomfortable now. You don't have to worry about it later,
We love this.
right? So I'm going to say like a phrase and then you guys have to point to whoever like is the definition of it. Okay. Like who
Oh,
it is.
great.
Okay. Who was the biggest reader in the group when you started?
No
Ri-
contest.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
100%.
then.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked by that.
Yeah. How many books were you reading on average a month?
When I got back into reading before we started the podcast, I think I did 80 books before like a year. I don't know. And I started probably 4 months into the year before we were like, so probably 2020, 2021, I was reading a lot. I was reading a lot of my like old high school, middle school books because I wanted to feel the nostalgia from those. And then I was like, wait, I want to read stuff I haven't read yet. So I started branching out.
I didn't read until I met Michaela.
I'm sorry. Come again.
I like, didn't grow up reading, nothing. Never was a reader. And then I met Michaela. And I'm trying to remember what you even told me to read. But anyways, yeah, she's the reason I read.
Oh my gosh. Michaela, you have earned your way into heaven. You converted her. Who is the first of you three to DNF?
Ooh,
Oh,
not me.
those two? Must two?
Yeah.
Me?
I would say Reggie just because she doesn't have as much time. But I would say Michaela because she knows exactly what she likes.
Okay.
How far will each of you give a book before you DNF it? Or maybe like what's the soonest you've ever DNF'd something?
Oh, I DNF'd the Mile High
Oh,
really fast. The Windy City series. That's like the quickest I probably DNF'd a book.
I at least give it 30%, but at times I have DNF'd at like 80%.
Oh, I know, right? That I think I've only done that once, and it was like brutal. But it was like,
Yeah.
You won't
ow.
forget that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I think it was The Blood of Hercules or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
They're both like, yeah.
We knew that one.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to push through and I just couldn't anymore. And I was like, this is not worth my time.
Respect.
Yeah, we support that decision. Who is the most likely to cry while reading? Okay.
Reggie, you say Kennedy, but they're pointing at you too.
Yeah, I just yeah, they get me. Even when things aren't supposed to be like emotional, I don't remember what book it was, but I remember put a Goodreads update that I was like sobbing, and someone legit commented and was like, I didn't even shed a tear in this book. Like, what are you crying about? So, like, I don't know. But yeah, Kennedy's a crier.
I'm a big baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when Michaela cries, it's sad.
You know what? That's true.
Who of you is the most intimidated by big series? Okay.
It's just because I don't have as much time to read.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many series I'd love to start, but I have 2 kids and I don't have as much time. Audiobooks save my life, and I don't want to start a big series because it's usually a fantasy series and listen to it. I feel like I got to give it the time.
I feel like the ice is sufficiently broken.
Yeah, I feel like it melted.
Mhm.
It's gone.
It's disintegrated. Okay, so let's get into your lore. So yeah, get into how do you guys know each other, and how did you guys decide to start podcasting together?
So Kennedy and I actually went to not middle school,
Yeah.
elementary school together.
Yeah.
We were little besties in the 5th grade. And then we had to go to different schools for middle school. Totally, like, we both just fell off the planet. Didn't talk until after we graduated high school. We all are wedding photographers, but I mostly did video. So Kennedy was shooting weddings for photo, and I was doing the videos with her. So then we were kind of like, it was like a forced friendship, but it worked perfectly. And then enter Michaela,
I just
photographer.
inserted myself into
No,
the
you were
friend
like a
zone.
little puzzle piece.
Yeah, we were like,
You're
what's
like-
missing?
yeah.
We were at a Christmas party with some other photographers. We were bonding over Spider-Man. I don't know. It was like this weird thing. And then
Well, the podcast came to be because we were all reading ACOTAR at the same time.
that's
And
right.
we went to Harry Styles. We
Yes.
drove from Utah to Palm Springs, and we were all reading A Court of Wings and Ruin. And we just thought it was so fun how we could sit and chat about a book together. And we were like, why don't we just start a podcast? Reggie previously had a solo podcast. So she kind of knew how the podcast world worked, mics, the box, podcast hosting. So she was our little podcast Yoda.
Yes.
And then me and Michaela just piggybacked off that, and
Showed
here we
up.
are.
So do your other platforms stem from the podcast then? Like created the podcast first and then created other social media platforms to feed into the podcast?
Yeah. I think we started the podcast, then TikTok and Instagram at the same time.
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
And then our
Mhm.
YouTube channel we started
Later.
later.
Mhm.
Okay. And then now you guys do cutie little merch drops. Are you guys all still videoing and photographing weddings on the side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say, wedding photography is still my full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't know how many weddings Michaela shot this year, but I think I shot like 28. So still in the thick of that. This is kind of just such a fun hobby for us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Amazing.
I can't believe you guys were all into wedding photography. That's bizarre.
But it actually makes a lot of sense. I feel like going from any kind of creative field into content creation is like a very seamless transition, usually.
Oh,
And we're
yes.
really lucky because we just get to shoot our own merch. We don't have
Yeah.
to pay a photographer any photo needs. There's 3 of
Yeah.
us.
And you guys have a merch drop live right now, right? Like we can drop links in the description.
Get
Kinda
this little
going
t-shirt.
crazy right now.
Yeah, we are.
So it's my husband's uncle. He's really into vintage cars. So he had that Mustang. He has a red Bronco, vintage Willys Jeep. Yeah.
We were in talks with so many people about like, do you have a vintage car? Can we use it?
We need one that's red.
Yes.
You guys had the vision, you creative directed, you executed. It's gorgeous. We will have a link in the description. I love that.
Thank
you.
Let's talk about your reading taste. So I know all of you guys have obviously books that you love to read, like all of you, but there's probably like some differences too. So I want you each to describe somebody else's reading taste. So let's see. Kennedy, you tell us about Michaela
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Reading taste.
Michaela knows exactly what kind of books that she likes. And so she reads exactly what she likes. So for the most part, Michaela loves fantasy. She loves these bad A female main characters. So if there's an amazing woman, she's gonna love the series. She is fine with romance books. They're not her favorite. She's very critical of romance books, which is great. I think her only 5-star romance read, and I actually think you rated it 4.5 stars, was
So not actually bad.
All Roads Lead Here. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata.
It's a very long book. Sorry. I would interrupt.
No, it's a slow burn. It's the slowest of
Slow
slow
burn.
burns. But yeah, I would say fantasy is like she reads about 80% of fantasy, but I love that she knows what she loves because she tends to read lesser known books in the genres that she loves.
Okay, so I now need the tea. I'm going off script. Okay, so to you, Michaela. Where are you finding your offbeat recs? Where are you finding them from?
I think it was early 2020 when, TikToks were made about like the vibes of books. So I have like an entire folder saved and I'd sometimes just go to them. So and there'll be videos that have like 300 likes and they're not very popular, but I was like, that looks so cool. And I decided to read them.
So it is a vintage TikTok folder of vintage TikToks. I'm obsessed with this, and I feel like TikTok needs to come up with a feature where these can be shared.
I also should give a shout out to my mom.
Yes.
Because my mom buys me a lot of books and she was the person who started my love for reading. And so a lot of them actually come from my mom. We'll just be like, I saw this at the store and I decided to buy it for you. That was my Christmas gifts were books all growing up.
I feel like we need that episode on the I'll Read What She's Reading podcast, which is like Michaela's niche recs. Let's deep dive.
Gatekeeping. She's been
Yes,
gatekeeping.
Stop exactly, Kristen. Get the hook going.
Yeah,
Yes.
for YouTube, you have to say
It'll be
Michaela's
like,
gatekeeping.
These
Secret
12 recs
Society
that Michaela has gate kept from the bowels of her TikTok saved folder.
It goes viral.
Yes, I'm here for it.
How about Michaela? You tell us Reggie's reading taste.
I feel like also the same as me though, but even more specific. Like she knows exactly what she wants to read. She has to be very picky about what she picks up.
Yeah.
And you have to like plan out what you're going to read. And I feel like that's good because I feel like most of the time you actually read like 4 stars and up pretty much every single time.
You're very. I think there's something wrong with me. I'm like,
you're very
why didn't I
selective.
just rate the last 5 books I read a 4-star. But I'm so selective.
She is very selective about the books she's gonna read. But I also feel like you do like going out of your comfort zone. You're like, oh, I think I'm gonna read this, and I'm like, oh.
I like to be a little mysterious. What can I say?
We love a little mystery in our lives.
We do. Can you pin down Kennedy's taste, Reggie?
You don't know what you're going to get with Kennedy because one second she's reading the most popular book on Book Talk and then the next second she's like, guys, I'm reading a book about the moon is turned into cheese. Like it's a cheese moon. And I'm like, wait, what? So I feel like Kennedy's really, I hate to say branching out because that sounds negative, but I mean that in like a very positive way. Because I feel like she was really like strictly fantasy and now she's turning into like a fiction reader. But she likes a little bit of everything and she's not afraid to try something new. Like if there's a book that I'm worried to try, I just know that Kennedy will eventually get to it and then she'll tell me if I should read it or not. Yeah, I wish I was more like Kennedy for sure because literally any person on the street could come up to Kennedy and she could give every person a rec that they would probably enjoy. I'm not like that.
But then on the flip side, you know, your guys' average rating is so much higher.
The fact that you do that, though, has made you discover genres that you are starting to love more than other genres.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like is been really fun for your reading journey, even though you might not rate some as highly.
They're more adventurous than I am.
Well, it's just fun that you're all different. Like it makes sense that Michaela, who's read her whole life
and has always been a heavy reader, like you kind of know what you like at this point because you've probably read a lot, whereas like if Kennedy is newer to reading, it's like, well, yeah, you got to kind of try things out and see what you're interested in, and you do have to read some of those 2 and 3 stars to figure out what 5-star books are for you. And Reggie, yeah, when your time is limited, you do have to be selective, and you do have to like pay attention to where you are in your life and what's going to feel good. Like, I don't know, when I first had kids, there were a whole bunch of movies and books that I would have enjoyed before becoming a mom that were really unsettling to me post becoming a mother. So yeah, your taste just changes. That just makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to be a huge thriller girly.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it now. Yeah.
Since you guys have started the podcast and are each on your own reading journeys, and you do talk about that on the podcast, you also interview guests and you interview authors. So we wanted to ask you guys, each of you, who your favorite guest has been and why.
You guys.
Oh.
How about we have to stick, it has to be authors.
I will pick someone, but I will say that it has been so insightful to interview all of these different authors because they have such different processes when they write. I don't know, it's really hard picking one.
Well, and you guys have interviewed both independent authors and traditionally published authors. So that process is completely different for them too.
I'm trying to remember everyone. Carissa Broadbent, Jezza Hastings,
Lauren Roberts.
Hannah Bonham Young.
Allie Carter.
Guys, heavy hitters.
This is great.
I don't know, maybe you guys will agree. I feel like Jezza Hastings was just so fun. It was fun to like get inside of her brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I know, like, say what you will about her, but she has the most fascinating mind. Like, I could have sat and listened to her talk all day. And there were so many things that she said about how she just, like, perceives television and how, like, that plays a part into who she is as a writer, that I was just mind blown the whole time she was talking. I was like, that makes so much sense. But, like, I would have never thought like that. And she, like, reads science books. Like, she just is always studying on, like, she just reads textbooks for fun, and she loves it, and that shows in her writing. And yeah, she just has a very fascinating mind. I was like, I could listen to you talk all day.
I think what is so fascinating about Jezza Hastings is there are so many people in my life who are not quote unquote readers. They'll read like less than 5 books a year, which that still makes you a reader, but they're not like, that's not like a huge part of their identity or their hobbies. It's just when something distracts them and they're like, yeah, maybe I will pick that up, and then they do. And it's Magnolia Parks. Like it's people that don't read will get sucked in to Magnolia Parks and read all 5 books, and they can't put it down, and then they get it on audio, and then they listen to it after they've already read it, and they want the TV show, and they just obsess about it, and they're following that Instagram account that has all of the outfits. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And I'm like, but you don't read.
It's so easily digestible because a lot of us watch trash reality TV. And not that it's trash reality TV, but like it's drama and messy in book form. And so I think it's easily digestible for a lot of people.
Yeah, and there's something about her writing too that, like, you really feel like you're in the character's mind.
It's very beautiful writing too. So I feel like if you don't usually enjoy a book format, but you're picking up a book, it's like, oh, this is why people like books, because it's something that can be done in a book that can't really be done in a show, which is that kind of more poetic, angsty, dramatic writing. And Jessa like excels at that. It's just this like, it's not quite poetry, but it's like, it's that over the top, like flowery drama that's like they don't write screenplays with that kind of language, but you wish they did, because it's like so
dang
visceral.
good.
It's so drama.
Another one that comes to mind is like Hannah Bonham Young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she deserves so much more hype. She's like hilarious.
Mhm.
Her books there's so much representation in them, and she gives, like, every author gives so much to their books, but there's something about the way that she gives to her books and her writing that is so inspiring and so intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to explain it. Like, our interview with her, I'm always like, go listen to that, even if you don't read her books, because you will want to pick them up immediately. She's awesome. So yeah, everyone we've talked to has been incredible.
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate that we've had conversations with all of them.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Oh, that makes
guys.
me so happy for you guys that you've got to talk to so many great people. What is a book that you read a while ago, maybe a long while ago, that you just like can't get out of your head and you still think about to this day?
I mean, mine is such a basic answer, and anyone who knows me listening to this podcast, Lightbringer by Pierce Brown.
I feel like that wasn't that long ago.
Girl, I've only been reading for like 2 years. It's just, it will stick with me forever. It's the storylines of all the characters, the character developments, the relationships, the action, the emotion. That to me is a perfect book. I don't have like a single note, anything, and the characters in the Red Rising series just live rent free in my brain. Something else maybe that's like first book I read coming back, well, becoming a reader actually. I have 3 dogs, and this is the it's not a stupid book to say because if you have dogs, it's really emotional. But The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein.
It's a beautiful book.
It's told from the perspective of a dog. But I have an elderly dog, and so just reading that changed my perspective on them and their life and how I need to give them the best life possible. It sounds so silly, but
I don't think it's silly though, because
I don't
I'm
think
not
so
a dog
either.
person. I've never had a dog, and that's one of my favorite books I've ever read. And when you think like dog book, you think like Winn-Dixie or like whatever. It's not the same.
Quite variety there with Lightbringer and then a dog book. I kind of love that.
Okay, Michaela, what's a book that you read a while ago but you're still thinking about?
I think, okay, so it's called the River and Time series. They're older, they're kind of young adults. These 2 sisters, their parents are archaeologists, and they go into this tomb, and it they time travel to like the medieval times.
What? Kristen and I love anything with archaeological undertones.
Oh, heck yeah.
And so pretty much this is within like the first 50 pages of the book. They enter into medieval, and they're in the middle of this war, and there are these knights that are like, what are these 2 girls doing? They're like so confused because they've never seen anyone like in formal dress, like, modern dress. And so they're like, I love it so much.
How old were you the first time you read it?
I was probably a freshman in high school.
My answer to this question, I also read. I think I read it in 8th grade. And it also is ancient Egypt coded. But they don't travel to medieval anything. But anyways, yes, and I'm scared to reread it because it was so like middle grade.
It was so powerful.
But it
at the
was so
time.
powerful to me at the time. It's like double espionage, romantic, ancient Egypt. I was like,
Mara, daughter of the Nile.
It's so good. It's like it gives me trembles all over my body, but I'm like so scared to reread it because it's a middle grade book. You know what I'm saying? Like I can picture the cover. I can like remember how it felt in my hands.
Those nice little paperbacks. I kind of do. I agree with you, Michaela. I feel like if you read something back in the day and you don't have a lot of other books and storylines kind of like muddying it a little bit, it's just so like solid in your brain, and that core memory is like literally
So-
inserted in you.
Yes.
see, and I'm so jealous of you guys who read your entire lives because as a 29 adult woman, I'm probably not going to go back and read those amazing young adult series. Like, I never read Divergent, so I tried to go back and reread it as an adult, and no, yeah. So all of these amazing young adult series, I just am never going to be able to experience that, and it makes me so sad.
Oh.
But there's so many good books. There's so many good books.
There are so many books that I did read as a kid and fell in love, but I'm rereading them now. Like this year, I've done so many rereads of stuff I read in high school, like Lord of the Rings and Jane Austen and Dune and Ender's Game. And I mean, they're hitting so hard. Like there's just things that just emotionally went over my head as a high schooler. And now it's like I can cry about it, or it can literally rip into my guts now. And it just couldn't then. So I don't know. I think there's something to be said for digesting a story when you have the emotional capacity to digest it. And it's fine to expose kids to things, like we're definitely exposing our kids to things, but you're reading it at a good time. Some things, I would hazard to say controversially that Divergent wasn't good at any time. So you're not missing much.
Maddie, we're going to get canceled.
Okay, well, Reggie, is there a book that sticks with you?
This is a great transition into what I was
I know
gonna
you did. I
say.
know too.
And maybe you guys are like, oh, Reggie, are you serious? The Hunger Games. Yes, I read those books. I can't remember when they were first published, but I ate those up, devoured them, like went to the midnight movie premieres, waited in line, for my ticket like a crazy person. And there's just something so special. I know that there's some people out there that have a hard time over the fact that there's new books now in this day that we're living in, but I'm like, if you haven't read them, you don't get it. I am so obsessed. It's kind of a problem. I can't think about the books without actually wanting to cry. I've been begging my husband to read like Sunrise on the Reaping, like literally on my hands and knees, just like, I need you to read it. Because any fan edit that comes on my phone, like immediately I'm crying or like there's chills over my entire body. So I'm just a big Hunger Games girly.
Kristen loves Sunrise on the Reaping.
And now my daughter is like even more diehard than me, and nothing makes me happier. Like they can't watch the movies till they've read the books. So they read a book, we have a watch party. Then I'm so happy that we have that in common, Reggie.
This whole interview for us is just giving us insight into you guys, your dynamic, who you are as readers, like what kind of recommendations we're going to be getting from you guys. So we're going to superimpose our rating scale onto you guys to help us do this a little bit more. So when Kristen and I rate a book, this was starting mostly this year, but when we rate a book, we actually go through and rate it on 6 things. And what we've learned about ourselves is there's one of the 6 that's really important to me. And if that 1 out of the 6 gets like a 5-star, pretty much it's pulling the whole rating of the whole book up. And it's a different one for Kristen. So we're going to ask you guys, of these 6 things, which do you think is the most important to you? So the 6 things are character, setting, plot, themes, personal enjoyment,
And
emotional impact. So for Kristen, hers is personal enjoyment.
Well, it's 2. Okay. It's emotional and it's personal enjoyment. Like the plot could not be plotting. Their characters could be mid. Basically everything could be mid. But if I have a good time and I'm emotionally feeling connected to the book, I'm like, it's infinity stars. And Maddie's like, what about like that part you hated? And I'm like, forgot about it because I felt so good the whole time.
I'll be like, the plot didn't even land. And she's like, I don't care. It was such a vibe. Okay. So then for me, it's themes. If the themes are powerful, I can hate the characters. The setting can be mid. Like
the themes that nobody else catches in any book, I'm just going to say. Like people will be like, I didn't like that book. Then they hear Maddie talk about it and its themes and they're like, oh my God, we read a different book. That's amazing. And I'm like, because Maddie like reads between the lines, people.
No, I read exactly what's on the page.
Okay, well, maybe people aren't using their brains.
The point
I don't know.
For example, the book The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. People have pointed out, she herself has pointed out that the magic system is somewhat busted. The world building is somewhat underutilized. It doesn't follow a traditional plot structure. But thematically, that text is so rich, you could study it for a decade. And so for me, it's an Infinity Star book. Like, I don't care. Like, the vehicle by which it was presented to me was good enough because what was on that vehicle was transcendent. So it just depends. It just depends what people are like. So I'm curious for you guys. I'll say them again really quick, and then let's go in the line.
And explain what it means. Like when you say character, it's like
yeah,
you just like
characters
5-star characters. You just love them.
Yeah.
Hashtag 6 of Crows.
Sure. Like a character-rich book would be, like 6 of Crows. I think a lot of people connect with Throne of Glass because of the characters. I think a lot of people connect with Sarah J. Maas in general for her characters. Setting would be in our fantasy books. That's the magic system.
It's like Outlander. It's just so dang good.
I mean, yeah, but in a fantasy book, I feel like it would be like everyone would say like Brandon Sanderson is a 5-star setting writer because the magic system's so intricate. That Kristen thinks it's overwritten a little bit. It's fine.
Love you, Brandon.
And then plot also includes pacing. So like if you're a plot driven reader, that means like you need impeccable pacing, consistent pacing, good plot, like intricate plots, unpredictability.
Never bored, kind of.
Never bored. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a plot-driven reader. And then, yeah, emotional impact, personal enjoyment. Personal enjoyment can kind of be anything. That's like, I read for style or I read for vibes. You know what I mean? Personal enjoyment can be anything.
Yeah, so you guys have
Hopefully-
to each go and say which one you're like, I think if this is a 5-star, it makes the book for me.
I'm gonna have to say I'm with Kristen on this. Like, exactly how you described that's how I feel. Because at the end of the day, reading to me, the reason I read is for enjoyment and for like that emotional impact. And if I didn't have any of that, I would still be a reader, but it wouldn't be what it is to me, if that makes any sense. And while I think all those other things definitely matter, at the end of the day for me, I'm like, that's why I read.
Well, you think
You know?
about like Powerless, for example. I think we all rated that 5 stars.
And yeah,
It's literally just personal enjoyment. I mean, think about everything else. Yeah.
I love when it's for personal enjoyment. Sometimes I catch myself over analyzing things. And so when I can just turn off my analyzing part of my brain and just enjoy it for what it is and not, be like, what is going on here? Or characters. Characters, that's probably my second. It's probably like really close. I really have to like the character for me to enjoy the book. It's very rare that I don't like the character and I rate it highly.
I think this is probably why you struggle with romance.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, what do you think, Kennedy?
It's funny because I thought it was something else until you started to describe what each character category actually was. And I do have to say, I love following you guys on Goodreads because whenever I've read a book that you guys have read, I love reading your reviews. They're so good. So good. I think for me, my top 2 are probably plot. Because if the pacing is whack, I'm not going to enjoy a book. I need a book to be very high octane, entertaining all the time. I don't love when it's fast paced, huge lull, fast paced. I like it to be very consistent. And I love a good plot twist. Michaela literally, I'm going to reiterate what Reggie said. She can guess almost every plot twist. And I try to guess it, but I never get it right. I think emotional impact also plays a big part because almost any book that makes me cry, it's going to be at least a 4-star read. Because I think if an author can elicit any sort of emotion from me physically, if I'm sobbing, laughing, I have to give them their flowers, right? Because that's so incredible to be able to take words on a page and make me feel something.
I want to find out from each of you guys a character that has been the most inspiring to you. I know it's hard and you probably have like a ton, but like when you think about a character that you read that you just absolutely loved them on the page, what's one that comes to mind?
This character will always stick with me, and maybe it's very basic, but I feel like I related so much to her. And it's Aelin from Throne of Glass. And I feel like I just read it at a time where I was going through a lot in my life. And I just related to the character and the fact that like I can do really hard things and I can get through it. And so I think it's just a character that I won't ever forget ever.
I don't want to say the same thing. I'm trying to like think of someone else to like make it different, but there's not another character whose quotes come into my brain like hers. Like I was literally giving birth and I kept telling myself, you do not yield. Like I was like, I can do, you know what I mean? Like, and as dorky as that might sound, I'm like, I can't think, there's not as many book characters that will like come to me like that. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to like think of somebody different to be different, but I'm like, that's the only character I can think of that's really like entered my brain into big moments like that in my life.
I mean, I would say these 2 characters are very on the same plane for me. Aelin, obviously. My other one that I would say is this is so, I need to stop talking about Red Rising, but Mustang. I just really love her character development from the first book to the last one. And it's so cool to see someone who is headstrong, knows what she wants, will get what she wants, but then to see her in those moments with her friends where she's really soft. And one of my favorite quotes from her is, "My love is my armor." And I just think it's so simple yet profound at the same time. I love her. I love Aelin. I mean, they're kind of like same person, different fonts.
What a name, Mustang.
Why didn't I
Such
have
a good name.
child named Mustang?
I don't know, Kristen. Big miss, huge. We're kind of going to leave books for a minute and just talk about you three, this hobby business you've built together, and maybe a little bit of dreaming, because that's our favorite thing to do as content creators ourselves. So if what you're doing right now could evolve into anything to align more fully with your personal purpose, what would that look like?
Are they doing a huddle right now? Is this the huddle?
Maybe you guys' answer would be different, but I feel like it's to bring joy to reading. Bringing joy and seeing how you can have joy when reading books and elicit the emotions of sadness, happiness, anger. Life becomes a lot more simple when you just like sit down and read a book. Do you guys have a better answer?
No, that was
That was a
very
great
beautifully
answer.
said.
Read.
That was very deep and beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Not to sound like super surface level though, but I think on like a more surface level, I think that we would like obviously ditto to everything Michaela said, but we would also really like this to be more of a like full-time thing. It already at times feels like a full-time thing to us. But I know that like everyone kind of hits a point in their life where they kind of want to switch it up a little bit. And I think that, like, I know in our interview with you guys that we had on our podcast, you were talking about how if you want to do something, you have to be all in and like so passionate about it. And you're not going to be successful if you're not all in and you're not excited about it. And I feel like we all collectively have this passion and excitement within the book world, whether it's just like our merch or it's our podcast or whatever social channel it may be. There's always room to make it bigger. We all collectively would want to be able to make it more than what it already is, give it that joy and have it be a space. Like, I think we've already established a space for people, but there's always room to make it more if we could put more into it than we are, if that makes sense.
Yes. I think for me, very similar to kind of what they had said, I think the whole purpose behind our podcast and our social media is to create a space where everybody feels like they have a book best friend. You know, there's people out there, and we talked about it when you came on our podcast, that don't have reader friends. And with your guys' trips that you do, you meet readers and you have this instant connection and a friendship that can span the globe, because you have some readers that don't even live by each other, but they still connect. And so I think just facilitating a space where people feel comfortable to come and listen to our podcast and just have fun. I think that's
Yeah. Like, we don't take ourselves too seriously.
no.
I mean, it sounds like you're already doing exactly what you've set out to do. But yeah, it's so fun to just project that out and be like, all right, and how will this be even more beautifully in alignment down the road? And just to even watch how far you've come, like, we love to look back and be like, wow, it's really just gotten even more laser focused the longer we do it, and the more we stick to our intentions and discover what our intentions are. It just gets clearer and clearer, and it's really fun for you guys to be on the journey together. It's fun for us to be on the journey together, because I think when you're chatting it out with your best friend, you just get that much clearer that much faster.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't imagine if I was doing all of this in my own head all of the time. Well, guys, this has been so lovely. I'm so glad to know more about each of your book tastes and how everything gels between the two of you. And now I feel like I can more specifically like receive and give book recs from each of you, like
Yeah.
knowing your tastes, knowing how things are going. And we're so excited to see what you guys read and what you guys make next. So for everyone listening, we will have links for the girls' merch and their podcast in the description. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. And let us know in the comments which of the 6 categories means the most to you guys when you're reading. See you guys all in the next one. But thank you guys so much for coming. This was so special.
Thank you. You guys are the sweetest, and like we feel so comfy cozy.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys.
Oh, it was our absolute pleasure. And
Yeah.
thank you all so much for listening. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
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 Yeah, I bet we feel